Good morning, traders, and this is your South African top 40 daily review, your Aussie. Okay, so there's a couple of things at play here. So the first thing is, we've sort of broken through this major area here, but we've been stopped in our tracks by this previous swing high. Now, that is an inside tail because it is inside this long tail. Okay. So in other words, price has gone past this level and come back. So it makes all of these fractal levels inside tails, and inside tails are where I get my levels from. So those are all weekly levels. So in saying that, I'm pretty cautious about any longs at the moment because we are at a weekly level. Oscillators are all grouped to the upside, giving me an indication that there is how to put a little bit of concern. Looking a little bit tired. And this here still looks like an exhaustion bar onto level for me. That's an inside bar. That could be a rejection pin bar, or it could be a piercing pattern for a bullish move break to the upside. So either way, you need to be ready for what's about to happen. If we look at the 4 hour, 4 hour doesn't give me much confidence. Lots of sellers happening at the top here, quite a few buyers coming in at the bottom, but we do have some diversions brewing and momentum is dying. So the trend is still up, so I'd like to see a pullback, probably something like that, pullback back to 50 to 435, and then another attempt at this top. Okay, as long as we are creating higher lows, it is fairly safe to keep trading to the upside. The minute we get a lower low, then I'd start looking for reversal of this trend and a bounce off this level. But to be honest, there's a better setup on the Dax this morning, which is probably what I'm going to be waiting for, and have a decent sized trade on that. There's a short brewing on the Dax, which I'm looking for. This here, and we're looking at the hour, you can see big up, big down, big up, big confusion. So it's not really clear cut as the trend is up on the 4 hour. On the daily it is, but on the 4 hour it is as well. But on the hour, yeah, we are still bouncing off the alligator, but there's a lot of effort going into this. And especially when you're swinging 550 points in a day and then another 550 points in a day and a bit. Yeah, it's a lot of confusion here. Okay, now your closing range strategy on Friday would have basically the first direction would have stopped you out because that's the first direction there. Okay, we eventually hit all the range targets to the upside, didn't quite tag the bottom side targets. Okay, so there's two ways of looking at it. You could actually look at this in hindsight and say, well, the range is above the alligator, so I'm only looking for a break to the upside, or I'm looking for a break and then a retest to move the downside. But that doesn't always play out. A lot of times you get the break and then it rallies to the downside. And I suppose the other thing is that we didn't quite have any target. Well, we did actually. The range target was pretty much the bottom here. So anyway, that failed. Now, the question is, the range is pretty much the same height. Okay. Now, the question is, are we going to get the move to the downside or the move to the upside? So, remember what I said last week as well. When you have the closing range break strategy failing, and it failed on Friday, and it also failed on Thursday. Okay, you can see we first broke to the upside, but that one we were expecting because of the strong weekly level that we were at. So you weren't expecting a solid move to the upside. And then you can see the sellers stepped in off this. And then the buyers came in the bottom here. Now, I'm kind of really in two minds on this thing. So, my gut is telling me that we should see a move to the downside and create another higher low. So if you look here, the range target, I'm going to use this level there. There's my range target. And if I just do that, you'll see that that trend line lines up with my range target. Okay, so I'd be looking, very possible that we move to the downside first, and then I'd be looking at 52,600 for price action to give me an entry long. So 52,600 would be a fairly good entry, and it would be a 200-point stop loss, which is pretty okay. Okay, so in other words, what I'm anticipating is first to move to the downside in the morning session, probably a very casual, slow drift to the downside, and then with earnings season happening in the US, yeah, anything can happen, but right now this is looking like a flat top triangle that is forming, which could very well be a breakup to the upside. But obviously I don't want to be long from the top here, I want to be long from the bottom. Okay, if we do, the only thing that's going to change my tune is really a break below the swing low here. Okay, so that's 52310. So we get below 52310, then I think, yeah, you can actually, well, even then I suppose that's not really, you'd want to get below 51974. But anyway, this is the latest swing low, so this is the one that we need to focus on, which is 52318. 52318 or 52320. That's the area that, you know, for me would be an area to start saying that this is the double top and we have a move to the downside. Okay, so now, anyway, for me, I'm looking for a long around 5 to 300. Somewhere around 5 to 300 is what I'm looking for. Just keep in mind that you have these two, you've got these swing lows here, which is 5 to 600. So 5 to 600. Still 5 to 600. Yeah, 5 to 600. So around 5 to 600 is what you're looking for. And I think that's the area I'll be looking for, along with a 200-point stop loss for another attempt at the top. Okay. But anyway, that's kind of my view at the moment. Not really filled with much strength and conviction, but that's kind of what I'm looking at the moment. So, you know, we want to be trading with the trend. The trend is up on the higher time frames. You look at the 4-hour, we're very strong to the upside. Look at the daily, we're very strong to the upside. So that's kind of the trend that we want to trade with. But we obviously don't want to jump in right at the top here. We want to get a little bit better risk to reward. So we want to pull back, and that pullback gives us an opportunity to get long again. And obviously what we're looking for is somewhere around this 52,600 area. So it could be 52,650, 52,600, 52,580 area, somewhere around there. Any of these tails would be a very interesting area to be long. So I know when we start dropping below this swing low here, then we need to get worried. Okay, anyway guys, that's it for me today. Looking for longs, just waiting for a decent entry further down, and then we'll see what happens. Hope it helps, and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.